Hey guys, and thank you for watching. You might be a little confused because you clicked on this and it said Best of Beauty 2016 and I'm barefaced. I decided I wanted to share my Best of Beauty products with you while applying them onto my face, and I was inspired by Paige here on YouTube. She is a Canadian beauty blogger. I will link her page down below if you're not familiar with her, but she does her favorites videos and she applies the products onto her face while she's talking about them, and so I really like that. I think it's fun to watch, and I decided that I would talk about my Best of Beauty 2016 and show you how I wear each of those products on the face. So I'm going to start in the order of how I would apply the products onto my face, and you will notice that I already have my eyebrows on. My brows take me like 15 minutes to put on. It's ridiculous, but I just have very thin, sparse brows, so in order to skip the hassle of putting them on camera, I did just put them on beforehand. However, I will share those products with you. I have been starting out with a wax from the drugstore from NYX Cosmetics, and it is their eyebrow shaper. So I use this first to prep my brows and put some wax in there to keep the hairs in place. But my two tried and true products are both from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The first is the Brow Definer, and I like it because this is good for people with sparse brows who have a lot of area that they need to cover. And so it has a triangular shape and then a spoolie on one end. So I use this first to kind of get most of my brow on there. I do find that it's hard for detail work, but it's good for filling in large spaces. So I go in with this first, and then I like to follow it up with my Brow Wiz, which is also in caramel. Both of these products are in caramel. And I like the Brow Wiz because it's nice and tiny, and I can get in there where the Brow Definer didn't give me a crisp look. I like to just kind of underline and do some brow hair-like strokes and use that to kind of fill in any sparser areas and to give it a sharper, crisper look. And then of course a spoolie that you can use to brush everything out. Those are my two tried and true brow products. And then I have been finishing it up with a sample I received in my Play by Sephora, I believe it was. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Now, when I first heard people talking about this brow gel, I was like, it's a clear gel. Like, why would I spend $22 on a clear gel? There are so many options from the drugstore. I've tried the clear Maybelline one. I used to use the Give Me Brow because that gave a little bit of a tint to it, but at times the Give Me Brow could seem a little bit too bold and dark, so I would definitely still go for the Give Me Brow if I was going out or something in the evening. But just for everyday wear, I found that the clear gel just locks my hair, keeps it in place, and so I don't have any crazy brow hairs going on. So I would say that this is pretty much empty, and I am going to repurchase it. So this has been a tried and true as well. Sometimes I go in with my face first, sometimes I go in with my eyes first. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Today, for the sake of the video, I will go in with my eyes first. And for 2016, my favorite eye primer of the year was the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the shade Eden. Now, if you caught me the first half of the year, I would have said that MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot was my go-to, but since probably the beginning of fall, it has been Eden. And the reason being is that Eden is a nice tinted eyeshadow primer. It's very similar to MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot in color, but it's more of a creamier formula. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been struggling with some eczema and dry patches, both on my eyelid and a little bit underneath my eyelid. And so Soft Ochre Paint Pot became a little bit too harsh for my dry skin, and I had my paint pot for, I want to say, 3 years, so it was time to pitch it anyway. But I do like the coverage that the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion gives me, because it's just a nice yellow base to kind of cover everything up, to give me a nice even base to work with, and it just provides really good coverage throughout the day as well. The next product for my Best in Beauty is an eyeshadow palette. Now this eyeshadow palette is not one that I would think of and say, oh my gosh, this is my favorite eyeshadow palette of 2016. But when I was thinking Best in Beauty, I was thinking of something that was tried and true that I went back to again and again and was constantly pulling out of my drawer to use. And so this eyeshadow palette was actually a bit of a surprise to me, and it might be a surprise to you as well. I do have a large eyeshadow collection. I have an eyeshadow palette video collection. But the one palette that I kept coming back to and pulling out was in fact my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. Now I was really surprised when I was looking at my palettes and thinking about them to see that I used this one the most. And the reason being is you don't have a very wide selection. You don't have a wide variety of colors and shades and tones. But I have so many palettes that I rotate in and out that I'm using time and time again. However, this was a staple that I found myself using every single time I was using another eyeshadow palette as well. If I didn't have a black in the palette, I would go use this black. If I didn't have a nice highlight shade that I liked, I would grab Venus and use that to put on the brow bone or the inner tear duct. But the two shades that I use the most are Foxy and Walk of Shame. And those two shades I have been using time and time again to set my base, my eyeshadow base. And so, you know, not all palettes have that shadow that you want to use to kind of set the base of your primer, but I feel like these two shades, when mixed together, just work really well to kind of set that primer that I put on and lay down a nice base for my shadows. And that's why I chose this palette for Best of Beauty 2016. My next category are eyeshadow singles. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, or if you know me personally, then you know that my Makeup Geek shadows are my absolute favorite shadows of life. I have mine in a Z palette. I do not have any Makeup Geek palettes. I think the only eyeshadow palette that she came out with was her collab with Manny MUA. However, Makeup Geek shadows are the shadows that I cannot put down. These are the shadows that I go back to time and time again. And that's why when I was thinking of an eyeshadow palette to choose for Best of 2016, I just couldn't think of one that I used more than my single shadows. So I did want to give my Urban Decay Naked Basics a shout out, since it did stay in my beauty drawer and get used a lot. But if I had to just choose shadows in general, Makeup Geek shadows would be my absolute favorite. Now you can tell I hit pan on two of them. I hit pan on this one is Beaches and Cream, and the one next to it is Creme Brulee. Those I like to mix together to use as a transition or a base shade. My favorite brow bone highlight shade is Shimma Shimma. It's good for the inner corner as well. And some of these standouts for 2016 were Pillow Talk. That was one of her new foiled eyeshadow shades. Absolutely beautiful. Loved that shade. I also really loved the Shadow Vintage for the crease, a nice mauve shade. I did just add some new shadows from her collection into my collection, and Early Bird is a beautiful orange shade. I also got this beautiful copper shadow in Legend, a nice olive shade. And so I just love that Makeup Geek has such a great variety. Her shadows are affordable. I think they're like $6 for your just normal mattes. The duochromes I even believe might be $6, and her foils are either $9.99 or $10, but they're just super affordable, and they're single shadows, so you can pick and choose the colors that you like. A lot of times in a palette, you purchase a palette knowing that you're not going to reach for some of the shades that are in that palette. However, when you create your own with the Z palette, you're actually choosing shadows that you know you're going to use and that you know you're going to love. And that's why I love Makeup Geek shadows. Her shadows are also very nicely formulated. I do know that Marlena has mentioned that she has a sensitivity to talc. which is in most eyeshadow products. However, her shadows are talc free, so if you do have a sensitivity to that, it's great to keep that in mind. Now, the only downfall to these shadows are that you cannot purchase them in a store. They can only be purchased on Makeup Geek online. I will link Makeup Geek down below. It's not an affiliate code. Marlena has no idea who I am, but that's the only downside, is that you do have to order them online. However, there are tons of swatch videos out there in the world where you can watch the swatches of each shadow and decide which ones you want to add to your collection. So, Best of Beauty 2016 single eyeshadows, go to Makeup Geek. When it came down to foundations, I did think back to my favorite foundation of 2015, which is still very much a holy grail foundation for me, and that is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Now you can see that I'm down to here. I'm just down to the last bit, and this is my second bottle. And this is something that I will repurchase again when I am out of it. However, there is another foundation that kind of snuck up on me this year, and it's actually a CC cream. I'm talking about the IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream with SPF 50. Now this was a new purchase for me this year, and I purchased it in, I think it was like June before I went to Europe, and this was something that literally I have not been able to put down. You can see here I've used a good amount of it, and I'm normally pretty good about rotating out my products. I have a large collection of makeup, and I'm usually pretty good about rotating it out, but since this guy has joined my foundation family, I just haven't been able to put it down. Now this is not the illuminating one, it is the normal one, the original. But this has just been something that I reach for all the time. It has coverage like a foundation. I would say it's medium coverage, buildable. It lasts all day, and it doesn't dry out my skin. I also like that the shade is just light. I feel like it just kind of blends in and matches my natural skin tone, and I don't have to worry about finding a perfect shade because the light just does it for me. So this is something that has snuck up on me. It took the cake, and this is my favorite foundation, Best of Beauty 2016. Now for concealer, I've been watching some people's Best of Beauties that have already been posted. A lot of people are claiming that the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer has been their favorite for 2016, and I'm still trying mine out. I just recently purchased that in the beginning of December, but it's not going to be something that is a favorite for me at this time. I do have to go with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Light Warm. This is again something that I have repurchased. This is my second bottle. I like it because it gives me lightweight coverage, but it also highlights my face and just makes the high points stand out a little bit more, especially with the dry under eye issues that I've been having. Some thicker concealers like NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer or the Tarte Shape Tape cling to those dry patches that I have underneath my eyes. But I found that my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer just glides on nice and evenly. It does not cling to those dry patches, and I get a little bit of creasing with any concealer, but I don't get a large amount of creasing with this concealer once I set it. So this is a favorite for 2016. I, of course, like to set my powder, and my favorite setting powder is Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I did purchase the smaller size to try it out, the travel size, and after trying it out, I fell in love with it, and I purchased the full size of this product. I don't bake my under eyes since I do have dry skin, but I do like to set my under eye concealer, set the forehead concealer, and then I like to use this powder to clean up my contour as well and bake a little bit in that spot. But I just love that this doesn't leave any powdery residue, and it doesn't dry out my under eyes. I don't feel like I need to have a ton of powders. I do not set my entire face, so I haven't tried too many powders, but I have tried the Laura Mercier, the Secret Brightening Powder, and I used that one for a while, but I felt that it gave me like a glittery under eye, and the translucent powder doesn't do that. So this has been my favorite for 2016. Moving on to bronzer, I have hit major pan on my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I haven't tried too many other bronzers this year. I have tried a couple drugstore options, but this is the bronzer that I just go back to time and time again. As you can see, I'm almost completely done with this bronzer, but I think that it gives me just a nice golden look while chiseling out my face, and I just don't find that it's patchy. It just sits nicely on the skin, and to top it off, it smells delicious. When I was thinking of the blushes that I used in 2016, my blush pick wasn't the one that came to mind right off the bat, but after reviewing my past favorites, I did find that the blush that I went back to time and time again was Benefit's Rockateur blush. Now, I do love this blush. I think that it is a beautiful rose gold color. It works well with a lot of different makeup looks, and it doesn't have a shimmer to it, but it has a sheen that just gives you a nice healthy glow. And this is a blush that I just pull out when I kind of don't know what kind of blush look I'm going for, but I just want a nice even flushed look. And so this was a blush that I picked up several times throughout 2016, and it's a blush that I know I will use a lot in 2017 as well. I do also like to use the little applicator that it comes with, and I use that just to put a little bit on the cheeks and get the color on there before I go in with my Real Techniques blush brush to add a little bit more product and blend it out. For highlighter, I ended up choosing Laura Geller's Gilded Honey highlighter. And the reason why I love this baked highlighter is because you can use it without Fix Plus to get, I wouldn't call it natural, but less of a shabam in your face highlight. Just kind of a more, I mean, it's not natural, it's a highlight, but just a little bit of an easier highlight shine on your face. But when you add Fix Plus, you just get this beautiful golden highlight that really lights up the face. And so I like to use this on the high points of my face, a little bit on the nose, on the Cupid's bow, and it just gives a really nice look to your makeup look. For eyeliner, I have 3 different eyeliners that I use for 3 different purposes. The eyeliner that I have been using to tightline my upper lash line is the Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes in the shade 10. It's just a nice, deep black eyeliner pencil, and I like to tightline with this and just get up close in the lash line, and I feel like it just makes your lashes look more voluminous. So that's what I've been using for tightline. Then I also like to line my waterline with a nude liner, and this nude liner is a repurchase for me. It is by Rimmel London. It is their Exaggerate liner in 213 in the nude. And by putting this in the waterline, it just brightens up my eyes and makes me look more awake. Then my tried and true eyeliner is Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner in Trooper. I absolutely love this stuff. If you just want to line your upper lash line to prep your eyes for falsies, this is really great. Or if you want to create a nice precise wing, this is the perfect eyeliner to do that. Now, I haven't actually had to purchase this liner. I keep getting samples. This is like the 3rd deluxe sample that I've gone through, but when I do not have any samples, I will purchase this full size because this is my absolute favorite eyeliner. My favorite mascara has been my favorite mascara for a long time, and it is from the drugstore, and I'm talking about Maybelline The Rocket Mascara. This is great for volumizing lashes. Its strength is not lengthening, but that's not what I look for in a mascara. I want thicker lashes, and so this mascara really does it for me. It has a nice thick wand. It's nice and flexible. It can get into those lashes, and I just love the look that it creates on days when I'm not wearing false lashes. As far as false lashes go, my favorite for the year were from Coco Lashes in the style Goddess. Now there's just something about these lashes that I love. They are similar to House of Lashes Iconic. They're just big and wispy. I like that they're smaller on the inside and they feather out, but they're definitely a very glamorous style of lash. And these are rather affordable as well. I get mine from the Lady Moss website, which I can link down below. But I love these lashes because you can order them online. They're shipped to your house. I have not seen Cocoa Lashes in store, which that can be a downfall, but I do like to use the House of Lashes glue to apply these lashes. You get several wears out of them, and I just like the look that they create. 2016 seemed to be like year of the liquid lipstick, so I do have two options that were favorites for me this year, and these are both products that were mentioned in my other favorites videos, and these were often the liquid lipsticks that you would find if you looked in my purse. And I am talking about Kylie Cosmetics Candy K liquid lipstick and Dose of Colors Stone. These have both been my go-tos. They're very similar in color, and I do tend to use the Kylie Cosmetics Candy K lip liner as well with both of these. And I'll show you some swatches. So here is Candy K and here is Dose of Colors Stone. So you can see Candy K has more of a deeper mauve shade and Stone has more of a purpley pink, but they are both beautiful everyday shades that you can wear on a regular basis. And the thing that I love about both of these products is they're super long lasting. I can put both of them on in the morning, drink my coffee, eat my meals, come home at the end of the night, and they're still there. Of course, they look like I've worn them all day, but they're still on the lips and it doesn't look chunky. They don't patch up on me. They just give a nice even application, and I really love both of these lip colors. I am not a huge lip gloss fan, so I don't have any lip glosses to share with you. If I had to pick a brand, I would say that I love the NYX Cosmetics Butter Glosses, but I'm not someone who wears lip gloss on a day-to-day basis, and I really just stuck to liquid lipsticks with no gloss throughout the whole year. I did want to have some lipstick options for you. Now, I did not wear a lot of lipstick in 2016. My lipsticks definitely got neglected. However, there were two new lipsticks from the same brand that were added to my collection this year, and they are definitely lipsticks that I am treasuring. They are staying in my purse. I'm wearing them often, and they are both from Tom Ford. Now, one was a birthday gift from Smegs, and that was in the shade Pussycat. It is a matte lip color. Again, you will notice a trend in shades. This is like a deep purpley mauve shade, and it's a comfortable matte. It doesn't dry out my lips. It lasts for a really long time, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful shade. Then a more My Lips But Better shade. It was new. It was a Christmas gift from my husband, but I already have not been able to put it down, and that is Tom Ford's Indian Rose in the shade 04. This is just a lip color. It is not a matte lip color. So when you put this one on, it almost has a sheen to it. And so again, these are all in the same color family, but this has a nice sheen to the lips. Again, it's long lasting. I put it on, I ate some food, and there were still remnants of the lipstick on my lips. So these are just very beautiful lipsticks. I love the packaging. I love the detail of these lipsticks, and I am definitely going to be wearing these in 2017, but if I had to pick a favorite lipstick for 2016, it would be these two lipsticks here. That is it for this video. Those are my top makeup picks for 2016. I will be filming a Best in Beauty 2016 for both skincare and makeup tools as well. However, if I did not mention some of your favorites for 2016, please list them down below so they're items that I can hopefully check out in 2017. Also, leave any requests for videos you would like to see coming up. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.